cover? What are we going to cover here over the next hour or so is root causes of health problems. We're going to dive deep into perhaps why most people don't feel the best or that they feel that they can improve something in their health, whether it's you or someone you know. We're also going to talk about the systems that are in play. The systems that impact our health, that impact our financial health, our mental health, and so many other things. We're also going to talk about a healing web briefly. I don't know if you guys have seen the healing web before. I've shared it a few times on my page and many others. And then we're going to get into some suppressed information that has been kept from people. Truly, I'm going to kind of tell you a story. I don't know if you guys like story time, like storytelling in a way, and you'll see a story that many of us have no clue even exists, and why it was kept from us. Then we're going to get into hydrogen and voltage and breaking down how our bodies work and just learning more about overall holistic health, whatever that might be and how you apply it. And again, at the end, if you have an option to change something in your life or improve something, you'll definitely have a chance to do that as well. So the first thing I do want to share is that yes, I feel healthy today. I'm going to be 36 next month. I feel better than I did when I was in my teens and my 20s, but I wasn't always in good health. And growing up as an athlete, I had put my body through a lot. Shout out to any athletes right now on this call or around the world that, we tend to think we're invincible. We can eat what we and drink whatever we want and burn it off. I was very reactive in my health. I thought I was healthy on paper because I was in shape. But something happened to me. I was 25 years old. I played professional basketball in Mexico. The last month I was there, I got really sick. I don't know what exactly it was from at the moment. I just knew I was in a lot of pain. I had a lot of gut issues. I had started getting rashes on my skin. I didn't know what they were. So I come back home and I do a bunch of tests and go to the doctors like you typically would, right? And they told me I had ulcerative colitis. I have a gluten sensitivity. I have symptoms of acid reflux. I have eczema, and that's why they gave me a steroid cream. And I have hay fever allergies that would wipe me out for days. And I also had a lot of inflammation from muscle pains and injuries from sports. So on paper, I was not in good shape. Now, what if I told you that instead of changing my diet, instead of changing my supplements or instead of changing my workouts or going on a crash course or going down a path that does not work, all I did was change one thing. One thing. And I know it sounds crazy. And to this day, it's almost 10 years ago that one thing I changed was the water that I drank. That's it. And you're probably looking at me like, what are you talking about? Water. And I said the same thing. And so as I changed this type of water I drank, I started uncovering a lot. And I noticed how fast my body was changing. I noticed how fast my inflammation was starting to go down. My stomach was healing. My detox was opening up, and I was able to cleanse. And now it's been almost 10 years since. I think I've been sick a handful of times, just food poisoning here and there. Haven't really been to the doctor. I take care of myself holistically, and now we're sharing this with people. So, like I said, whether you're here for the first time, with a health issue or someone is going through a challenge, this may be the information to connect a lot of dots for you. And maybe you're here and you're very healthy and you want to stay healthy and you want to be proactive. You don't want to wait for the diagnosis, right? You want to exercise before you start to put weight on. You want to get good night's rest before starting to try to depend on, caffeinated beverages. We're trying to get to the root cause and be proactive instead of wait until the diagnosis and then be reactive in our life. So that's when I started discovering. I said, how does a guy at 25 years old, who's a professional athlete, a college Division I athlete, probably one of the quote unquote physical healthiest guys out there, can be so sick inside? And so again, if you're here and you're always saying, well, why am I so tired? Or man, I just can't get a good night's rest, or I feel like I'm always getting sick, or stress is an underlying factor of issues that I have, or digestive issues, brain fog, allergies. I have back pain. My wrists hurt. My hormones are out of whack. My nervous system is shot. But I'm trying all these things and I get some relief, but then the next day I don't. And I try a new supplement or a new diet and the vegan and carnivore. And it's like, what the heck? Type in one in the chat if that's you or if you know somebody that has gone through or is experiencing this journey right now in your life. Something where you're just trying to get to the bottom of it, the root cause, right? Because the world we live in focuses on medicine medications, chemo, radiation, quick fixes, pills. But what about here? And this is what we're going to get into tonight. Dehydration, what that actually means, low cellular voltage, which means your batteries are running a little low on energy, inflammation in the body, oxidative stress, a big one, free radicals build up in the body, and something called acidosis. Too much acid, because let's face it, we live in a world that is very acidic. We have acidic food, we have acidic water, we have acidic thoughts, we have acidic products, acidic chemicals, and it's causing acid in our bodies and all over the world. So type in the chat for me. Let's put our tinfoil hats on, shall we? I hope you guys are my people that kind of see what's going on in the world. Type in yes in the chat if you believe our food system needs an overhaul. A lot of processed food, fake food, pesticides, seed oils, preservatives, chemicals. Have you guys seen what's happening with RFK and talking about getting these dyes out of foods that are found in our children's food? Type in yes in the chat if you believe we have an issue with plastic and chemical pollution in our environment, or type in yes if you guys ever see those lines in the sky that don't seem to go away and don't really look like real clouds. Is there such thing as cloud seeding and weather manipulation? How does that affect us? Right? How does that affect us? Type in yes in the chat if you believe or are aware that our water supplies are very contaminated. There's chlorine, there's fluoride, there's BPAs, forever chemicals, runoffs, pesticides, pharmaceuticals. And what about plastic? Have you guys heard of microplastics? Like the plastic pandemic, how much plastic people are consuming? And then you try to eat healthy and type in yes if you ever heard of pesticides, glyphosate, atrazine, companies like Monsanto and Bayer that are spraying these herbicides and pesticides on our food, and we're trying to get healthy, yet it's like we're putting gas on the fire. Type in yes if you also know that we have a problem with our financial system. Have you guys heard of money printing? Have you noticed that interest rates are different? Have you noticed that credit card debt is at an all-time high and we're in trillions in debt? What about mental health? Type in yes in the chat if you think there's a mental health issue in the world, that we have a lot of stress and anxiety and depression. We're out of the moment. And then type in yes if you believe and know or are aware of Wi-Fi. It's like, oh my gosh, you put it all together. Geez. It's like we're constantly being attacked and bombarded. And it's true. And so what do? We go to medications. We go to prescription drugs. There is 130 plus million people on a prescription drug right now. And prescription drugs do not come from nature. They came from man-made petrochemicals. And so to get by our day, what do we have to do? Drink caffeinated beverages. 94% of people drink caffeinated beverages for energy. And top it all off, sprinkle it all. There's 80,000 chemicals in our environment that have not been tested for safety. Type in yes one more time if you are aware of this, believe this to be true, and are waking up that there is an issue at hand. What can I do to change? Because here's the thing, right? We can hope and wait for someone to come save us. We can have RFK investigate and do everything he can. We can have the change happen in the FDA and the way that food is processed and the water distributed. We can have, the president doing this and that, sure. But I think the biggest thing right now is waking up to the fact that no one will come and save us. We have to make better choices, better decisions, become more educated and aware, and pass this on to other people, because the system we live in is not going to tell us. The system we live in currently is not designed to make you very healthy. It's not designed to make everyone on this call wealthy. In fact, it's the opposite. So who is the common enemy that we're really up against that you can wake up with conviction and motivation to conquer and win your day to come out better? It's the government, plastic water bottle companies, big pharmaceutical companies, three-letter health agencies, pesticide companies, chemical manufacturers, the beauty industry with toxic beauty products, the Federal Reserve printing money without our approval, censorship, right? If you guys remember free speech censorship over the last couple of years since 2020, and then propaganda, the news full of fear. And so until we stop and pause and zoom out, like you see on this map, until we stop and pause and zoom out on the bigger picture, we may continue to run these cycles over and over and over. And that's why I'm so glad you're here, because this is a chance for you to break these cycles. And so now I want to show you something called the Healing Web. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this before. It's an incredible map. I actually have 2 maps around my house. If you ever come over, big maps printed out, and you can kind of get lost in it all. But right down the middle is all health issues that people experience. And remember, these can be chronic, or it can be such as small things of having energy throughout your day. being able to sleep at night, being able to eat food without getting, feeling your stomach's about to pop, being able to be at peace and have your hormones regulated. But there's also things right in the middle, and we have two options. Okay. And this is where we're going to get into this story. We can go left towards big pharma and use all the allopathic Western medicine systems that treat the symptom, or we can go right and get back with nature. Type in the chat, would you rather go left or are we going to go right? Are we going to go right and get back with God and go holistic? Are you someone who wants to get on the right path? Or do you want to leave what God created, leave it and go left and go back to man-made petrochemical cut, slice, burn, and tear, and hopefully figure out why I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired? I'm sure we're all going this route. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of you are waking up to it. So what happened? Back in 1910, there was something called the Flexner Report done. That was over 100 years ago. A lot happened in the early 1900s, man. Oh my gosh. This report pretty much got rid of holistic health in its entirety and created an allopathic Western medicine system that was more reactive and symptomatic than preventative, looking at the root cause. And you can actually look this up. The report literally said, hey, we're removing holistic health from all medical education, from medical schools, from college campuses, from research and product and development and all that. And we're going to focus on a model that prioritizes, look, profits over people. Oh my gosh, profits over people. And so now we start realizing, okay, my doctor may not give me the best preventative research. My doctor may not know the best diet for me or that all water is the same or different. So I have got to start doing my homework. So now let's get into a history lesson. Okay, about 8 years later, after the Flexner Report, the Rockefellers again created the Institute for Medical Research, and they were investigating successful field testing of military surgeons for something called, if you see where my mouse is, electrolytic water technology. Okay. Electrolytic water technology, where you'll hear me say that a few times throughout this webinar. And basically, they saw that it was working, but the Rockefellers said, no, let's pursue something else. Let's focus on automotive and aerospace. Let's focus on cars and, NASA and spaceships. And let's redirect our energy from the petrochemical and create a monopoly of something else. Type in the chat, what is a very, very commonly, probably the most common consumed product on planet Earth that requires petroleum, that requires oil? Type in the chat. What is it? Do you guys know? What is that one thing? Plastic water bottles. You guys know it. You're seeing it happen left and right. I hope you're drinking out of glass. I hope you're filtering your water. But this is where now the awakening starts to happen and what I started waking up to. So not all water is the same. Tap water, bottled water, there's filtered water, processed water. Basically, at the end of the day, you're stripping it, purifying it. Sure, you're cleaning it, but what is left over is absolutely nothing. And so with bottled water as a great choice, better than tap water for the most part, it's still very costly. Most of it's tap water. It's got plastics, microplastics, which is an endocrine disruptor. Most of the water in plastic is acidic. There's no energy. There's mineral deficiencies. There's no antioxidants, and you're going to pay for it for the rest of your life. And so if you're curious about what water's coming into your home, which I'm sure many of you aren't drinking tap anymore, I would hope that this group is going to the next step in their health. You can actually go to the ewg.org. If someone can type that in the chat for me, the ewg.org, and put your zip code in. And then when you put your zip code in here in America, you can actually see what is in your water coming into your home. And not many people know this. And so you may not drink tap water, but do you take a shower every day? Wash your hands. Where do you clean your produce? How do you water your plants or your pets and brush your teeth and rinse off your counters and scrape things off the floor? It's all done through water. And so people then say, well, I got to filter my water. Purified, distilled RO water. These are fantastic filters to get all the bad stuff, but it also takes out the good stuff, which is the minerals, the electrons, the hydrogen, and the antioxidants. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, I promise. So what about filtered and purified? Well, they're devoid of minerals, so just be aware of that. They're going to be acidic in pH. Okay, we don't want to continue to drink acid every day. They're going to be taking energy from us, and I'm going to show you how we test that later. And there's no presence of antioxidants. And so why does that all matter? Because certain types of water has certain types of properties that are the opposite of what these waters provide, and there's only limited use. You can only do one thing with it. So speaking of, change, right? Let's go a little bit farther. Okay. 1950s now. As we continue this story after World War II and the bombings in Japan, Japan had to start over. They had to reset their pharmaceutical system. But here's what happened. It was almost a blessing in disguise because then they implemented a disease preventative model. How would you think, right? So go to Japan, the doctors will find ways to make sure you don't come and see them. Here in America, doctors are always finding ways for you to come see them so they can make money, so they can diagnose, so they can prescribe, so they can write off insurance. It is a big business. Let's be real. So here's the cool part. When Japan was redoing their system, look, the Japanese physicians began investigating alternative ways of disease prevention, and they discovered the consumption of electrolyzed reduced water as an effective treatment for intestinal health, gastrointestinal issues. So profound that years later, they recognized this water as a medical grade water. So the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare recognized the consumption of ERW, that's what we call it, as a viable medical treatment. When was the last time, I'm sure none of you can say yes, but when was the last time your doctor prescribed you water? Not just bottled water, not filtered water, ERW, electrolyzed reduced water from a medical device. So now as we get into this, this was the water that I started to wake up to. This is what I changed. This is what started to give me profound effects. But what I want to say first is that all of this is educational. Okay, it's all information and entertainment purposes. I am not a doctor. I am not an advisor. Always consult with a professional. But at the end of the day, when we learn how to get our bodies back in balance, when we learn how to put the right environments inside and out of our bodies and give it the tools and rest and energy, our bodies can regenerate and rebuild itself. That's what I believe. Okay. Type in yes in the chat. Have you learned something so far? Are you guys with me still? Seeing the bigger picture, the healing web, the Flexner report, the systemic issues? Because now you're starting to see how it actually does impact all of us in small ways, right? In small ways. Every single day that we use all the things in our life, no wonder over time our health tends to go down instead of go up in this world that we live in. So what's the solution? All right. What's the solution? What is this technology that the Rockefellers looked away from 100 years ago? Can you imagine if it was the number one thing they focused on 100 years ago? Your grandparents would have a Kangen water machine. Your parents would have a Kangen system. And so the company called Enagic, based out of Japan, created a device with this technology to create ERW, and it's called Kangen water, which means return to origin. And return to origin, you may be wondering, what does that mean? Well, there are certain places in the world that you can actually go and visit. And in these places, people line up and drink and bathe in certain types of water. And what makes this so amazing is that the water that they're drinking and bathing in has therapeutic properties, certain properties that your bottled water doesn't have, your filtered water, your spring water, your Fiji water, your glass water, even the Saratoga water, all that stuff that's going viral, it does not have those properties. And so instead of going to Lourdes, France, or Germany, or the Hunza Valley, why not go to your kitchen? And that's what's so cool. And so why this device is pretty incredible and why this is a very holistic, health-focused webinar for you guys is because this device creates 7 types of water with 50 uses. And we're going to get into all of these today. 50 different uses just by changing the pH and voltage of the water coming out of this device. And this technology has been around for a long time. So the first water we're going to get into of all the waters is the drinking water. This is the antioxidant water, the detox water, because I'm sure all of you, I don't even have to ask, you all drink water every single day. We don't eat food maybe 4 or 5 times a day. Sometimes we miss a day. Sometimes we fast. Sometimes we take supplements. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we work out. Sometimes we don't. But for 99.9% of us, I'm guessing you drank some water today, yesterday, the day before. I'm guessing you're going to drink water tomorrow, this weekend, Monday, Tuesday, for the rest of your life. I'd hope so, because more times than not, people that aren't hydrating tend to start seeing health issues rise sooner than later. So what are 3 properties that ancient healing waters have that, and magic mimics, right? It mimics nature in your home that you can have access to, like the Japanese found. Number one is faster absorption, better hydration. Number two is antioxidants through something called hydrogen gas, molecular hydrogen gas, and electrons. We're going to teach you and show you what that is. And the last property is alkalinity. Not just alkaline water in stores, right? A different type of alkaline water done through a change in voltage. So, how do we test this stuff? How can we show you that not all water is the same and that why certain people have been migrating to certain types of water based on certain facts and therapeutics? Well, the first thing we're going to do a little t-test. Okay, so we're going to do a little t-test. Now, probably a lot of you know that to make tea, you have to what? You have to heat up the water. So, what if there was a way that what you are drinking can bypass your cells, bypass the blood-brain barrier, bypass the cellular membrane, and get right into your tissues and cells to hydrate you where it needs to go most? And that's what molecular hydrogen can do. So, let's take a look at this video and check out how we would make tea without heating it up using Dasani compared to Kangen water. Take a look.
It's really important for athletes. It's really important for dealing with brain fog. And of course, with the detoxification, it's really important for losing weight and for feeling better, because toxins, we'll even get a little help there. Toxins sit in our cells, and if you can't get them out with your water. What did my skeptical husband say? He said, well, that's not fair. The tea bag was already wet, right? But isn't that cool? That's showing you the superior hydration, better detoxification of your cells. But just so you know that we weren't, cheating, and it wasn't because the tea bag was already wet. We'll go back to the Dasani. You know how when you feel really bloated or your stomach feels really full and sloshy with bottled water or tap water, you're drinking a lot of water? It's because it's sitting in your stomach and not actually absorbing into the intestines. To give you a little dose of science, the Kangen water, between the good alkaline minerals and the antioxidant, it can open your pyloric valve and go straight into the intestines.
So you can see how you can actually make tea instantly, which is really great. Now, why is that important? Type in the chat, does anybody take supplements? Does anybody take supplements here? Type in the chat. Let's do a little mastermind. Does anybody take supplements? What supplements are you taking? What supplements have you took? Whether it's powders, tinctures, topicals, capsules, protein powders, sea moss, there's so many, matcha, turmeric. But for most supplements, what do we need? Water. We either mix it in water or we drink it with water. So wouldn't it make sense to ask yourself, hey, is the water I'm drinking actually helping me absorb these supplements I'm taking? And I want to let you find that answer. Because imagine absorbing more of your supplements, having more effectiveness in the supplements you take. Maybe you start to use less supplements over time, which is going to save you money and have less wasted nutrition. So just something to think about, because I know, like you or probably like me, I used to spend a lot of money on supplements, hundreds of dollars a month. But really, as I started to drink Kangen water more, I started to realize that I didn't need as many things as I thought, because I was just thirsty. I was just thirsty. So what about free radicals? Okay, free radicals and toxins, right? What's going on here? So free radicals we get bombarded with them all the time. There's good free radicals and then there's bad ones. So the ones like medications, cigarettes, stress, EMF, radiation, mold, alcohol, chemicals, processed food, pollution, toxins, like all of these things we know can cause free radicals in our body. And so what happens is, if we do not mitigate this, our healthy apple is going to start to look like a brown apple. This is what they call disease. This is what they call aging. Health can be very, very simple. We just live in a world that tries to make it very, very confusing and complex. And so if that healthy apple right there looks the same as this normal cell right here, what's going to happen over time when free radicals start to overload our bodies? What's going to happen? We're going to start to manifest pain. We're going to start to manifest issues. So the question is, right? The question is, how do we stop those free radicals from accumulating? And the answer is antioxidants. So what you see on it may look like carbonated beverages. It may look like a fuzzy drink or a soda or a carbonated beverage, but what you're seeing right here on your screen is something called molecular hydrogen gas. Okay, tiny gas, the smallest element on the periodic table, and it is the world's most powerful antioxidant. Many of you take vitamin C, you take green tea, you do the acai, you do the glutathione pumps, you do all the things. But what about molecular hydrogen found in your water? And so it acts as an antioxidant. It helps with anti-aging. It actually kickstarts the body's antioxidant system, which is incredible. It is anti-inflammatory. It helps reduce pain, protects your muscles. It can speed up sports-related recovery. It's a neuroprotective. There is no food on earth that has all these benefits. There is no supplement, there is no workout regimen that has the benefits that this type of hydration provides. And that's what's so amazing about all of this. And again, just think about it. When was the last time something you came across has been proven to have these profound effects on people's health? And there's research done. And what I would love to ask for those that have been drinking Kangen water before, if you can type in the chat how this water has helped you personally, your experience, your testimony. I can't make claims. I can't recommend and tell you what to drink and what you should and shouldn't drink. But if you type in the chat and you look in the chat at some of the stories, they may bring a tear to your eye because it's very, very powerful what a certain type of water is doing for people all over the world. So as you can see, research shows that molecular hydrogen has the potential for these effects. Okay, this is research showing, not just me making all of this stuff up. Okay, so you can look at this right here. There is nothing else on this world that provides these type of effects. No food, no supplement, no detox, no regimen, no meditation, nothing that can provide what this is found in your glass every single day. And like I said, don't quote me on it. You don't have to ask me. You can look all of this up yourself. 1,000 peer-reviewed articles on over 170 disease models on molecular hydrogen. Your doctor just doesn't know about it because they're not going to be taught it in medical school. They don't want people cured. We don't want people getting healthy off their meds. No, that's not good for business. So if you do want to research yourself, you can. Again, don't believe me. Don't believe the person about you. Go do your homework. It's always interesting. People don't research what they drink today. They don't research what they're eating or where they're spending their money, but all of a sudden they want to research everything about Kangen water. And you can. Just make sure you research what you're doing in your life as well, and you'll start to uncover a lot of pieces. So you can look up ERW, reduction potential, and 2 slides ago, all of those things I shared, here are all the sources. So there you go. Already been proven, right? Add that left brain plus in the chat the right brain, and you'll then see the results and testimony speak for themselves. So pretty powerful, right? So think about the water you drink. So what's another way to test about the antioxidants? Remember I talked about how water we drink could be aging us faster? It could be inflaming us faster. It could be oxidizing us, cutting our apple open and it turns brown quicker. Well, how do we test that? So what we're going to do is we're going to do an ORP meter test. Okay, ORP stands for oxidation reduction potential. Anything that's a positive is going to be bad for our health, aging us faster, inflaming us faster, more acidic. Tap water, bottled water, Gatorade, sports drinks, soda pop, even alkaline water that you guys buy in stores, if you were to test it with a meter, it would be a positive 300. So just because alkaline water is alkaline doesn't mean that it's the best for us. There's so much more to learn. And then the negative charge, green tea, vitamin C, cod liver oil, Kangen water coming out to a negative 400 to a negative 600. So how do we test it? Let's use the meter. Let's put it in a few drinks, put it in Kangen water, and let you see we want that negative number to pop up, not positive in our water every day. Let's take a look.
This is an ORP meter, which literally measures a liquid's potential to reduce oxidation. The more positive the reading, the more oxidizing or inflammatory the liquid is. The more negative the reading, the more antioxidizing and anti-inflammatory a liquid is. We'll go to Propel. This is actually the same as vitamin water, Gatorade, Powerade, any sports drink. About 400s, going up and down there. We got Sprite. We all kind of know that soda's bad for us. Diet sodas, by the way, and dark colored sodas are in the 500s. But Sprite is right around 436. And we got Kangen.
Pretty powerful.
And it's been sitting.
Right, so you could see how Kangen water came out to like a negative 400. Now, what she was going to finish is that it's been sitting a little bit. And so I know a lot of you probably don't eat processed food much anymore, learning about it. Think of water in the same way. You wouldn't buy much of your food from the middle of the grocery store, right? Why? It's processed, synthetic, it's fake, it's altered. Same thing, you got to look at your water. So water should not be drank 4 months later after sitting on a cargo ship in the middle of the ocean, sitting in plastic. That's not how we're supposed to drink our water. The best water is right at a stream that's negatively charged, full of minerals, full of electrons, and full of hydrogen that we put in a glass and drink immediately when taking it from the source. Does everyone get this? Type in yes in the chat if you guys get that. That's if it's one of the biggest takeaways you can have on this masterclass is that looking at water the same way you look at fresh fruit and processed food. As soon as I pluck an apple from the tree, that apple's potency and energy potential is going down and down. Just like as soon as I unplug an outlet from an outlet or a plug from an outlet, that battery is going to start to go down. It's the same thing for water. And if you can connect that dot and have your aha moment there, you'll start to now connect more dots of a bigger picture when it comes to overall health. So how can we build up energy? Right? Remember, this is a whole, whether it's Kangen water or not, there are so many ways you can get healthy in this world that are free and that require an investment. Number one, you can drink Kangen water full of hydrogen and electrons. Number two, get out in the sun. Anyone go to nature? Who loves camping? Type in me in the chat. Are you any campers, any ocean people? Are there any people that love to be outside? Anyone who likes to take their shoes off in the dirt or the grass? They called us hippies, right? All those crazy hippie people, they're always hugging trees. Well, what if we were some of the smartest people because we knew where energy was being given to us? And that's what's so amazing. When you're in nature, when you're outside in the field or at the beach or near a waterfall or you're camping, all of a sudden stress goes down. It's like my back doesn't hurt as much. My anxiety is going away. I feel like my digestion is better. I feel calm. And we don't connect it and realize that we're being saturated by negative ions. And that's exactly what's in Kangen water. So you start to connect these dots. Hugging other living things, daily exercise creates electrons and energy in your body. Eating real food, not fake food, obviously, chemical and pesticide free. And then, of course, have yourself a good cry, a good journal session, a good community gathering to release trauma and trapped emotions, and watch your health change. Watch your health change drastically just by implementing a few of those things. Okay. So now let's talk about the pH. Remember, we talked about voltage. So anything that is acidic is going to be a positive charge. Okay. We're correlating the two. Anything that is alkaline is a negative charge. So our bodies are slightly what? Slightly alkaline. So technically, our bodies, our cells, the trillions of them, are most healthy when they have a what? A negative charge. That's it. It's as simple as you can make it. So look at the food you eat, the water you drink, the supplements you take, the mindset, the thoughts you have. Is that positively charged or negatively charged? Most of us have no clue because we go for calories, ingredients. We look at very left brain label, statistical, scientific things to determine what's good for us or not. And that's where it gets confusing, just like you see here. So the alkaline trend, many of you have heard of alkaline water. You can do that by adding chemicals and making it alkaline and calling it healthy. Kangen, what it does an electrical change. Okay, so like I mentioned, it mimics Mother Earth's process of creating energy that is able for us to be used for a healthier lifestyle. So how do we test it? Let's test the pHs of these beverages and give you guys a look at what the pH of these beverages you may be drinking or have drank in the past and see the difference right in front of you. Take a look.
You look at the pH chart, it's about a 4, and then typically pop and sports drinks are right in between a 3 and a 4 pH. When you got your Kangen, this is actually the 9.5 water, but the machine can make 8.5, 9, or 9.5 so that you don't detox too quickly. A fun little trick I want to show you guys is I pulled the Kangen water here. Let's say you've been drinking bottled water for a long time, and you're like, okay, well, how long could it take for the water to kind of help my body? Well, drink Kangen, drinking the Kangen water. But you guys, sports drinks and sodas are so acidic.
So it takes about 3 gallons to neutralize 1 soda. Isn't that crazy? 3 gallons to neutralize 1 soda of medical grade antioxidant rich water. So just be careful of what you're putting in your system. So here's the pH. Right? Which is kind of like, okay, there's some blues, there's some yellows and oranges. I know that oranges and reds are not good, but look, here's the truth. All of these things. And this is RO water, distilled water, tap water, reverse osmosis, spring waters. They're going to have a positive charge, and there's going to be no molecular hydrogen in them either. So why would we drink that every single day? That's why the Rockefellers looked away. They didn't want everybody on this stuff. Can you imagine if our whole country had a Conga machine in our home? People weren't consuming pesticides and using chemicals. People were detoxing every day and loading their bodies up with antioxidants so their bodies can get back into balance. You collapse the whole system overnight. But that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to change, right? So how does it work? You connect it to your faucet. There's a filter inside. You can get extra pre-filters. Everyone's home is different, so we do a water report to determine if you need pre-filters. And then in the machine, it does what's called electrolysis. And then out the top right here is your drinking water with all the antioxidants. And then down the drain is a cleaning water, which we're going to get into now because moms, dads, people with kids, I'm sure you guys have cleaning products. You have hand sanitizers, mouthwashes, all sorts of things you may be using and paying for at home that you can now replace to water, and it's chemical free. Okay, so a little bit about the company, because it is important to know where these products come from, is this company's been around for 50 years. They're debt-free, privately owned, based out of Japan. Their factories are in Osaka. We've been and we've saw how these machines are made. It takes 8 months to make one machine. Did you guys know? 8 months to make one of these devices because they're medical grade equipment and they're the gold standard. Okay, they've been around literally longer than I've been alive, almost 50 years in business. And we're just now hearing about it around the world. And so what they have is medical grade certifications, ISO standards, and inside the machines, because there are other cheaper machines. And I'll be transparent with you, there's many other ionizers. They all came out after Enagic was created. None of them have medical grade qualifications. Most of them have lower grade materials. Some have great filters, but the output, the power, the transformer, all these technical terms, which I'm not going to go deeper into, are not even close. And so you're not going to get all the different types of water. You're not going to get the concentration of hydrogen. You're not going to get the negative charge that lasts a few days. It's always going to come up short. So just do your homework, do your research, ask all the questions, get all your information if you decide to make a change in this, because it is so important that you do your homework and research for anything else. Okay. So I told you this machine does so many things. And remember at the beginning, we talked about pesticide exposure. We talked about chemicals and plastics and pharmaceuticals and caffeine and pest and all the things, microplastics. So the goal would be to get rid of all that. The question is how? How do I swap all of this toxic garbage out and replace it with water? Because remember, this machine technically is a matrix breaker. It does over 50 to 100 different things for you, all by hitting a different button on the screen. Pretty crazy, right? Many of you heard of pesticides. Yes, they're gnarly, okay? That you could see them come off our produce. There's studies to back that the certain type of water can actually help with pesticide reduction. But it's so important because think about it. What strawberries would you rather eat? Type in the chat. The strawberries on the left, which that came off from their tap water, or the strawberries on the right, which this came off. Sometimes tomatoes, it comes yellow. We've had spinach, it goes like green. We've had stuff come off quinoa and rice. It can get funky and it's oily. Okay. You wouldn't drink it. You wouldn't touch it, but why would we eat it? It's crazy to think, right? So clean your produce of pesticides. You can use it for a stain remover, a degreaser, laundry cleaner, and makeup remover as well. So let's give you an example. Let's say you have some fresh fruit or fresh salad or anything you want to prep or clean for your kids or your family's meals. Maybe you shop organic or not, but how are you cleaning your produce and preserving it and bringing it back to life with the 11.5 strong alkaline water? Let's take a look.
So in these 3 glasses, I'm going to be pouring in the tap water. And then in this one, we have the calming water 11.5. So we'll let this sit for about 5 minutes and we'll see what kind of water comes out. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's see what happens when we pour the water into these glasses. You ready? Okay, so remember we've got the tap water on this side. Wow. So the reason why the Kangen water is so effective is because it penetrates through the oil, and farmers are using oil-based pesticides to put on their crops, so when it rains it doesn't wash away. So it's very cost effective for them, but what happens is we're not actually able to wash them off, as you can see with tap water alone. So we need something a bit stronger, and that's why the Kangen 11.5 is so effective, is because it actually breaks down oils and emulsifies the oils. So you can really see for yourself the difference between the Kangen water and the tap water. So Kangen water, tap water. Look at that. Boom.
Okay, so now you can see exactly how to clean it with the 11.5. There's another one called water. So anyone that uses beauty products, for your hair, for your skin. So hitting a different button on the machine, it creates a beauty water setting for skincare, oily skin, detangler, facial toner, makeup foundation. Your plants love it. You can clean your windows with it. It's a floor cleaner, aftershave, baby wipes, and you can even use it for cooking. And it's literally just a different pH of your water. So just think about all the different ways that water can be replaced, getting rid of all the chemicals and pollutants. And then the last one if you hit a button on the screen on the Kangen machine, it will actually make hypochlorous acid. Okay, this is a water that is 10 times stronger than bleach. We have third-party lab tests. It kills MRSA, Salmonella, E. coli, and staph on contact. You can use it for mouthwash, soaking your toothbrushes, spraying your counters, athlete's foot, strep throat, pink eye, first aid, wound healing, food poisoning, so many different ways. And there's no chemicals, and you cannot overdose, and you don't have to call poison control if you accidentally drink it. That's what's so amazing. It's literally just water. It's like, think about how big are these industries and corporations? Like how much money is spent per year on bottled water, chemical cleaners, synthetic beauty products, hand sanitizers, laundry detergents, mouthwashes, degreasers, stain removers, and yet all of these products come with warning labels. They all come with side effects or carcinogen warnings or phthalates or additives or synthetics, and no one bats an eye. So remember, you're either here probably because you really are getting specific and picky with your health. You're not weird. Okay, you're not awkward, you're not strange. You're conscious and aware, and you respect your body and yourself more than maybe anyone else that you know does. So wear that as a badge of honor. Okay, that's why this information is so important. So if you did get a Kangen system, we would give you 100 ways to use your machine. Again, you can just experiment, try things, mix things, like really get the hang of it. It's a whole lifestyle change. Okay, it's a whole lifestyle change. And then as I start wrapping this up, type in the chat too if any of the other waters you've used have had tremendous effects and benefits. Some people have used it for mouthwash, strep throat. People have gargled with it. There are so many different ways that you'll learn to use water for your overall health regimen. So now, if you are considering getting a Kangen system, great. We'd love to help you, but I want to point something out. This is something really cool. This is Ron Hicks. He's the top medical engineer guy in the world. He had MIT engineers break down these machines, and he said these machines could last 100 years if they kept maintained. 100 years. Most homes and cars don't last 100 years. Right? Some people have had their machines 10, 20, 30 plus years. I've had mine going almost 10 years, and it still produces the hydrogen, still makes the negative charge, still makes the 2.5, the 11.5. I've been using it since 2016. So think about how much money I save. But what he said was he was so impressed at the way Enagic brought these products to the market. Because check this out. If Enagic went a route through private reselling, through private medical dealers or resellers here in America or medical rep companies, they would have to charge these machines close to $15,000 per machine. It's like, well, forget that. I can't get one. That's like 10 mortgage payments for me. That's insane. There's no way. So what Enagic did was they found another avenue to bypass that, to save a ton of money for themselves and for us. And now you can get them for like about 5,500. And you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Over 15 to 20 plus years, it's less than $1 a day. That's how you have to look at it. This is an investment in your health and your future, not an expensive cost that you're going to regret later. Okay, does that make sense? And you can finance these machines. You can finance them on a payment plan. They come with 5-year warranties. They last 20, 30 plus years. They're potentially, not an advisor, a full tax write-off. So anyone wants to get some money back next year from the IRS, I'm sure you're waking up to what's happening there. This is a no-brainer when it comes to tax deductions too. So just be aware, just know that many of us are already spending money on these products. We're already paying a lot of money for these things that we can replace. So how can we just get smarter about where our dollar is going, especially when it comes to the water we're drinking, the products we're using, the savings about our healthcare, right? Maybe you don't have to take medications anymore. Maybe you won't have to keep buying your coffee every morning that costs $3 every day for years to come. So you have to zoom out when you're in doubt and look at the financial health just as much as the physical health. Okay. Because on the left, look, here are all the products. This is how much they cost. This was before inflation, y'all. This was in 2010. Okay. This is probably 5,000. You're saving a whole machine price per year just by having one. So a lot of people will, they'll say it's expensive. And I agree. It's a lot of money up front or all at once. Right. But over time, what does that break down to? And compared to what? And basically, when you do the math, it costs you more money to not have one than to have one. So basically, you're saying I'd rather spend more money than I need to. That's what you want to make sure you guys connect, like that aha moment. Because look at all these products. Swap it out with the Kangen water, save that money. It starts to add up, and you're going to have this for years and years and years and years and years to come. Pretty incredible, right? Because one machine is going to replace all of this stuff. It's literally a holistic hospital in your house. Like that's what's so cool. So the return on any investment is save money, improve your health, help the environment, cut back on chemicals, no more plastic. You can give to others. You can give out water to people to drink. Give it to your plants. Your pets are going to love it. Anyone have any pet testimonies? Throw those in the chat too. And plants. My gosh, you should see what this water does for plant life and animals. Simpler lifestyle, less sick days. You'll teach your kids. Shout out if moms and dads, your kids are probably not going to want to drink soda anymore, or your kids may start craving fruits and vegetables because their bodies are going to change and detox. And you can start to save and invest money you saved on other things, which is really incredible too. So I pray this was valuable for you. I know this was a lot to cover on a masterclass. I want to gift you guys something as well. If you go to comeouthydrated.com, I created a 50 plus page comprehensive ebook all about this masterclass in writing with images and contents and sources. So you're welcome to dive into that at comeouthydrated.com. It's just my little gift for you guys showing up here. Go download your free ebook. And for those that are interested in getting a Kangen system, I'm going to walk you through for a few minutes, a few ways you can invest in one and purchase one if you feel called. Like I said, if this isn't for you, I know it sounds weird and you want to keep drinking the water you drink, using the chemicals, paying more in taxes, spending more money each month on things that you can replace, hopefully not eating pests. If you want to keep doing those things and not go this route, God bless you. Like I'm cheering for you. I pray you find your solutions. I pray you get your answers. Like I'm wishing you the best, but I feel like for most people here and around the world, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when I actually make a change, because this really is a no-brainer once we see it all. Okay, so what you can do is you can pay in full for a machine. You can do a credit card or apply for a card, or you can do a down payment. So remember, the full retail price is $5,480. Okay, the best way is to pay in full. Credit card, you get cash back and rewards. Remember, they're potentially full tax write-offs. Okay, so you're already going to save money there. Type in tax, by the way, if you got money back from your taxes, or maybe you got save some money on your income tax bill because of purchasing a Kangen system. Type in tax in the chat so you can see there's tons of people doing it. Credit card benefits are amazing because you don't have to pay much up front. You'd be paying 50 to 80 bucks a month depending on your credit score. You can avoid direct payment fees. It works on your credit score. You can get cash back and you'll have no interest for 12 plus months depending on what card you get. If you do want to look at credit cards, Easy Freedom Finance is a place that we put some of the best routes and options people have taken to get their Kangen system. So you can check out some of the best credit cards there. And it just depends what you get approved for. So let us know what you get approved for. We can help you out with those next steps. And then another option you can do is a down payment. So it's a financing. So you can put 25% down instead of the full amount. So let's say you put down 1,500 bucks, you'll have a 45-day grace period, and then you're paying about 205 bucks a month for 2 years. And you can pay that off anytime. Interest free, interest free. So it's lower upfront, no credit checks. Everyone gets approved for that. You get your unit right away. And then you can also share it because I'm sure a lot of you here thought of something this could help. So type in me in the chat if you would love to have your machine discounted or free. A lot of people ask, Chris, is there any sales going on? Like, is there a discount happening? And I say, yeah, every single day. Every single day. In fact, type in free in the chat if you got a free machine by sharing this water with people because Big Pharma ain't going to share it. CNN ain't going to do an article on it. Your doctor is not going to prescribe you it. Your favorite social media influencer is probably still drinking reverse osmosis and don't know why. You're not going to know about it. And so Enagic found a way to share this and bypass all of those boundaries by making sure everyone on this call knows about it, by making sure that we pass this information along to other people who love and drink water and love toxic-free ingredients, who love to shop organic, into biohacking, who's using cleaning products already that wants to get rid of chemicals. Do you guys know anyone that maybe wants to save money on taxes, save money overall? Maybe they want to feel better, who wants to help the planet and the environment, or maybe they're passionate about health and wellness. Maybe they're a holistic naturopath already and they have no clue about Kangen. Maybe they're, going through a health challenge. If anyone came to mind, share it with them. Share them this information, invite them to a webinar, share a video, share some water with them. Because if you do this and you refer 8 to 10 plus people based on the referral program they have, Enagic will give you your money right back to you. So for those that are here saying this machine is a lot of money, we'll help us share it and get that money back as a thank you. And that's what's so cool. It's a human-based marketing model that everyone wins. And these are some of the payouts that you get depending on your rank as you have helped more people around the world, online or offline. Okay. So I just wanted to share with that is there. Like I said, 10 to 12 referrals pay for your system. You can share this with people online or offline. A lot of people make their money back if you want to be involved with our movement because we need your help, right? We need more people speaking out. We need more people knowing this information. And now you, for making it this far, shout out to you, have almost a duty to tell the world about it. Pass it on, get involved, share this, come back and keep learning, keep an open mind. But at the end of the day, I pray that you do think about getting a Kangen system for your health, your family, and your future. So the person who invited you will contact you or vice versa, however you guys connect. We can help you with any questions you have. We can help you with next steps. We can help you with anything when it comes to financing or installation. We're here for you. We're here for you. And that's the water that I changed 10 years ago that changed my life forever, that I was in bad shape. And like I said, I didn't change the diet. I didn't change my supplements. I didn't change my workout. I changed nothing. I just swapped out one water for another, started drinking it every single day like I would a medicine. Long story short, it's been 10 years later and I've never felt better. And so many people are winning today. So thank you guys for popping on. I'm still here. Okay. It's perfect 6:30, right on the money. Type in the chat, yes, did you guys learn something? Was this helpful? It's very important info. I've done about 500 of these webinars over 5 years. I love them because what happens after this is the change people commit to. And then I guess I could show you, we have a whole testimonial chat on Telegram where every day it seems like there's a new story about how this water is changing people's life. And we also have a chat about how this referral program is literally giving people a chance to get ahead of their bills, get ahead of their mortgages, pay off debts, being able to, invest, being able to, start to maybe leave a job they don't like. It's truly a win-win vehicle when it comes to health and wealth, all thanks to water. All thanks to water. And that's what's so amazing. So type in the chat if you have any questions. I'm here to answer. I'm happy to share. I'll answer some questions that are typically asked on these webinars in cases, I know that was a lot of information. So here's the device. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is the dimensions. This is just a shell version. And so you can see on the screen here, the different buttons for the different water settings. Inside of here is where your filter is going to go. Okay, so your filter will go right here. Down below this container right here, this is where you put enhancer. So this is salt water. Okay. So in order to make 11.5 and 2.5, no other ionizer in the world can make 11.5 and 2.5 because they do not have the power needed to create those levels of pH ranges for water. So just something to be aware of. You'll put the enhancer in here, put that in there. And then anytime you want to use the cleaning waters or the disinfectant water, you'll just hit the button and it'll come out the top hose. And then here's the bottom hose right here. Okay. So it speaks 8 languages. Maintenance wise, people ask, you want to clean it every other week, more the better. You don't want minerals to build up on the plates because then you're going to lose that contact the water has with the plates and you won't get as much antioxidants. So that's the machine right here. It's portable. Okay. A lot of people say, I got to wait till I move or I'm redoing my kitchen. You can plug it in, unplug it, unscrew it, adapter, put it in your bathroom, laundry room, travel with it, whatever you want to do. You can even go on TSA with your water and tell them it's medical grade water and they'll test it and you can fly with your Kangen water as well. So yeah, those are a couple things people tend to ask. And then let me pull up the chat here. Could someone update us on the tariffs? I don't know. I wish I controlled the tariffs. I'll have to email Trump and see what he says, but I don't know what's going to happen. My guess is probably not much. The price already went up last year due to shipping and due to the way things are moving in the world. But as far as affecting our sales, I don't think so whatsoever. I think we just have more people to tell. There's 8 billion people in the world and only 3 million people have Kangen water. So we've got a lot of people that need to know about this. That's why it's such an incredible opportunity. So yeah, great question though. Anything else? I'm pulling up the chat. Let me see. Let me scroll on up. Yeah, and just get back to invited you. We have financing videos. We can do a financial plan for you. Or maybe you pass this on to somebody and we can help them out. We're just here to help the people of the world, especially knowing this info. No other questions? Okay, I must have done a good job. You guys must have got everything. Well, thank you guys for popping on. We'll let you know when the next one is. We usually do 1 or 2 of these a month. Like I said, either me or other people do them in our community. Shout out to our community, Wakewater Co. If you're a part of it, type in W in the chat if you're still on here. These people are putting themselves out there to share and tell people literally about a secret that some people can't even comprehend. You're probably seeing them on their reels. You're seeing them in their stories. You're seeing them share gallons of water. We are the crazy water people. And I think we need more crazy water people. I think we need more crazy food people that are focused on organic food and soil that is rich. I think we need more crazy homeschooling moms and dads that are finding ways to educate their kids outside the system. I think we need more crazy holistic health people. I think we need more crazy herbalists. I think we need more crazy spiritual leaders. I think we need more crazy people because the crazy people tend to be the most normal in this world we live in today. So yeah, hope to see you guys on the next one. And best case scenario, we get you guys a Kangen system and start helping us continue to wake the world to the power of water and to come out hydrated truly on all levels. All right, y'all. God bless y'all. We'll see you soon. Get back to invited you and vice versa. Reconnect. Let us know where you're at. If it's not for you, great. If it is, awesome. Regardless, the best is yet to come. God bless you all. Have an amazing evening, and we'll see you next time very, very soon. Take care.